Hello accounts people, time to have a look at the bookkeeping and ledger accounts for disposal and purchase of non-current assets. We're going to dispose of an old van and buy a new van. First of all, getting cash for our old van and then have a look at the differences if we part exchange it. The rules then, well, we can capitalise the purchase price, anything that makes it up and ready for use, possibly even our own labour, but in this case there's no labour appropriate, it's not installing equipment. So of the van cost, the purchase is okay. These are revenue expenses, so that's why we've got a miscellaneous motor vehicle expense. But the delivery charge is fine, we can capitalise that. That's the cost of getting it to us. So in order, so first of all, transfer the item to be disposed of. Oh, here we go. The general rule is drop down boxes and exams, of course, whatever you actually get, or companies will have their own style of writing these as journals. One, before I forget, it's just me making sure I balance it off. One credit, and that gets transferred, possibly even to a specialist group whose job it is to get the best price for old assets, into a disposal account. It can be disposed of or put into a disposal account before we finish using it, or before we actually do the transaction. And then we transfer the accumulated depreciation, which was 8,500. There's a debit entry. At the moment we're just doing like for like entries. So if we put a minute naturally balances. Done that one. Now we'll finish the disposal part of it off. Now probably the disposal account will be balanced off at the end of the year, but we'll put in the proceeds now. So proceeds went into the bank. We'll assume it went into the bank, and we got 4,200 for it. But in our books it was worth more, less than that, which means we've actually made profit, and it shows the difference of 200. So that is going to have to be balanced off. It may just be balanced off every year, because there's lots of other vans and vehicles going to be disposed of during the course of the year. There are quite lots of them. So that's the debit entry. The credit entry, hence the note, goes in as sundry income into the profit or loss. It's not trading income, it's a gain on disposal. Debit, credit. So that's the disposal part of it done. Now we've just got to process the new van. We've got a new van, and that one will be the 15,000, but only the 60 net of VAT. It's a van, we can claim the VAT back, not including the road tax, because that is a revenue expenses. So we better put those in then. 15,060. And you can see I've already left the VAT in there actually from previous attempt. And the VAT, there we are. We'll get balanced off when we do a VAT return. So the only other item to put in is the fact that we owe our supplier. It's on 30 days net. It's a sundry payable, because it's not a trade payable. and when we put this in, it should balance off. Yeah, so disposals account completed, bank account, obviously everything gets balanced off at the end of the year. Transferring to the disposals, record the new one. So with a part exchange then, the first little bit is it's going to be exactly the same, slightly different vehicle. So we're still getting rid of an old van. These have still got the same numbers. So that's the same, and accumulated depreciation, got the same numbers here. So that's the same. But now, instead of cash proceeds, we've got a part exchange. Well, we know which side it went. Appropriate wording, whatever's appropriate. And that's the credit, the debit instead of the bank. It's still part of the cost, it still cost us. It's their valuation, not our 4,000 bookkeeping carrying value, old book value. So that's the proceeds effectively done, and then we need to balance this one off. In this case, we've now got a loss on disposal of 100. So we've got to put these in. So there's the 100 that we put into the disposal account. In this case, there will be £100 debited as an expense in our profit and loss account. So that looks pretty much the same. The 3,900 goes in the same place on the disposals account. It's a loss this time and goes towards the new motor vehicle. So now we need to finish off the new vehicle. We've just got to watch the value here though. Take off the value, it actually costs us 12,660. Then we might as well put this in. So new van service contract. 5. And then our VAT. And then we have our suppliers, our sundry payable, our dealer, the difference. So 1 week credit entry should balance off, sorted, all done. Disposal's the same, part exchange replaces the bank. And then just the 2 entries now for the motor vehicle, just to show the difference. On a computerised package, of course, you enter the same invoice number. This would have an invoice number that you'd be typing in which case it would match and tie the two together for you, or make sure in the journal that you're referring to it correctly, so that auditors can find out what you've done. That's the same, that's pretty much the same. Different amount there, of course, because we part exchanged it.